And we're live.
Hey guys, it's Billy Merritt back again. Every day I bring you a show at 11 a.m., but today's a little different. I had a very special guest. He agreed to come on. He's got a very tight schedule, and I said, can you do 11? He couldn't quite make it. For you, I'm going to reschedule. So I bring to you right now the great and powerful Adam Marburger. Did I say your name right, Adam?
You said it right, my brother. You said it right. And yes, hey, and I'm sorry about there was a last minute meeting that was put in there, and I couldn't. Those deals, we're in the same industry, kind of, right? Our clients are car dealers. When a car dealer wants to meet, you meet. There's no car dealers in my business. The car dealer comes before everything in my life, except for my daughters.
I totally understand, man. We've been on the show before, and when I don't look at my phone when I'm on here by myself, because if a dealer calls, I might just leave the show. But I serve dealers. You serve dealers. Smith, have you got the description that I put up there? It was on Adam's profile. I don't want to miss the accolades. Have you got it in the? I know for one, you were the Dealer Magazine. Is that correct? 40 under 40. Is that right?
Automotive News, 40 under 40.
So what does that tell us exactly what that means? I know it's a very distinguished honor. I know a lot of people, not too many because there's only 40, right? But what does it mean to be chosen for something like that? And how did they let you know about it?
There's thousands of industry experts that are in the industry, and a lot of them are under the age 40. So every year, Ally sponsors the deal, and you can be nominated by anyone. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple people as soon as it comes out that I'm going to be nominating this year. After they nominate you, they vet you out. They ask you some questions. You have a couple conversations, and then you get an email if you made it. And I was one to get the email and went out to San Francisco. Had a really good time at NNDA, treated us great. I got to meet some incredible humans. I got to network with some of the greats in the industry, and there you have it.
Awesome, man. So you're a car guy. Before we get started,
share this with.
Sweet. My viewers may or may not know who you are. So Smith, if you will, let's just read a description of who I say Adam is. Then we're going to get some history on him, and we're going to have a great conversation.
Sure thing. Today's guest, Adam Marburger, is highly esteemed and highly decorated in the automotive space with accolades such as Automotive News Top 40 Under 40 honoree, Elite F&I coach and product provider, real estate investor, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach.
Awesome. So I want to jump right into one very important thing, and that's Brazilian.
Do some hand modeling. You left that out. I do a little hand modeling too.
I did put that. Hey man, I can compete with you with that.
You got good hands.
That's good hands. Let's talk about F&I. How did you get into F&I? And for those people we have people who watch all over the country, what is F&I, and how did Adam get involved in F&I?
So it's finance and insurance. So whenever you go into a car dealer, you buy a car, you got to go into the business office or the F&I office or the finance office, and you complete the transaction. I started at 18 years old selling cars. I knew within a year that I didn't love taking the snow off the cars in the winter. I hated the lot party that it seemed like we would have every 30 minutes, like in the heat and 100 degrees on the blacktop. I just knew pretty quick that I didn't love that. And I saw the F&I people were in suits every day, and they were inside, they weren't outside, and they seemed to make some do-re-mi, and I was just drawn to that department. I spent a lot of time. I remember being 19 years old in my F&I manager, Paul Tedford's office, and I'd sit there and go, hey, man, teach me. I want to do F&I. He's like, dude, you've sold cars 6 months. I go, I'm doing F&I. Show me. And so we were working on it. I knew I wanted to do F&I like immediately, and I didn't get that opportunity, though, until I was 21 years old. It was actually a couple days before I turned 22. I got an opportunity to do F&I at a pretty good-sized Nissan store near St. Louis.
Near St. Louis. So you started in the St. Louis market. That's a pretty tough market, pretty competitive, right?
Very. And I share this with people all over the country. I think St. Louis is one of the top markets in the industry. It is a uber competitive. We pump a lot of metal out of this city. We've got some fantastic dealer operators. It's a fabulous place to do business in St. Louis.
So how long were you in F&I? And I'm gonna call that retail. How long were you in the dealership as an F&I guy?
So I started in 1999, and then I left in 2017. May 31st, 2017 was the day that I said goodbye to my retail career.
Wow. Now what prompted that? That's a long career, man. And so, listen, F&I, as you said, you make some do-re-mi in there. I know a lot of guys that stay in it that long, and it's hard to get out because it's hard to leave that money. So what made you want to get out, and what prompted you to do it?
So at that time in my life, I was kind of dealing with some personal issues, trying to decide, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? I was making, this story's been written. I've shared it a bunch of times, so I have no problem talking about it. But I was making all of the money, like all of the money. I had, as an F&I manager, I had a really nice schedule, like a 40-hour work week, making $500,000 a year. I had plenty of vacation time, but here's what I didn't have. I didn't have the ability to duplicate what I'm doing in multiple departments. I had this kind of vision of going around the country helping people in their F&I department. And sitting at my Nissan store, which I was fed extremely well, I just wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't fulfilled. So I walked away. I went from hero to zero, started all over again. I mean, I remember with my ex-wife at the time, we were down in Florida in Fort Myers, and we're sitting on the beach. We literally, like when I left, we went to Hawaii and Alaska. We made up for some lost time and went on some trips. But I'll never forget watching my bank account kind of kept dropping. I had X amount of money, just keeps kind of dropping. I was like, wow, that income, I have to think like maybe I'm not ready to leave the industry 100%, but I wanted to do something in a different capacity. And that's where I got into the agency side of the business at that point. But I love retail. I still kind of am in retail. Like I'm in retail stores. I work with retail cards. So I'm still in retail. Mm-hmm. I just don't have to work every single Saturday in the dealership until 7 o'clock anymore. That's just the difference. I put my time in to not have to.
Man, you said a lot of things right there, Adam. So I'm gonna try to unpack some of it without going over an hour, because I know we're all busy and we have things to do. But first of all, I want to talk about the money. And listen, for some reason, it's taboo in some circles to talk about the money. But that's why we work. We all work to make money, right?
Yeah.
You're making $500,000 a year. I want to stop right there, because I have so many people that I mentor, that I work with, that I train, and that I try to inspire. And it's hard for them to wrap their mind around you can actually be an employee and make $500,000 a year. Yeah. I've done it. You've done it. And I want you, first of all, to look at my audience and tell them what is possible if you start in sales, and if you take it seriously, if you get the proper training, if they want to really make $500,000 a year, how can you do it, Adam? How can someone go from selling cars to making $500,000? Can you really do it? Or are you very special and most people can't do it?
It can be done. So here's the thing. Anybody that's in a role that has a commission structure to their pay plan without a ceiling, you make the decision at that point. So it's the habits that those people create. It's the work ethic that person possesses. And it's the relentlessness to get better every single day. And that's something that I was very structured. I did the same practices, the same routines. I did it every single day, my whole career. And so therefore I was able to earn some income. But to answer the question, yeah, we can. Is it easy? No. But is it possible? Absolutely. With the right work ethic and commission structure. Absolutely. And as salespeople, I'll tell you right now, F&I, GMs make a bunch of money. GSMs make a bunch of money. Sales managers make a bunch of money. F&I managers make a bunch of money. But guess who can make all of the money? Salespeople. A salesperson that decides to treat the dealership as their business, their brand. If they individualize themselves within that dealership and build their business within that business, that sky's the limit. I got a store up in the Detroit area. We got a guy named Jerry that sells 70, 80 cars a month. We know people like Frank Crinity and Ali Rita. I mean, look at those guys. So yeah, is it possible you can make millions of dollars in that role?
Yes, you can, Adam. Thank you for saying that. I just love it when someone else can get on here and say the things that I've been saying, because, when you hear something that sounds a little bit extreme, first thing people do is question it, right? That's normal. That's totally, you should be skeptical, but then test it out, see if it's true. You can look at the people that you just mentioned that are actually doing it. I've done it. You've done it. We know people that have done it, but you can't do it without that relentless work ethic, and you can't do it without doing exactly what Adam said. You have to understand that you are the business, and you have to understand that a business is only a business if it is scaling. So those guys who are selling 80, 100 cars a month, they have assistants, they have systems in places, they have marketing. I do events for car dealers, Adam, and we'll sell a month's worth of business in 7 days, something like that. I have individual salespeople who reach out to me and they say, Billy, will it work for an individual salesperson? I said, yes. You need to spend $8,000 on the event. You need to hire you some assistants, and you need to start your ads. You can do it yourself. You don't have to do it with me. But they just pull back. They retract. They're like, I can't spend that much money. That's because they have the wrong mentality. They're not a business. They think that they are a salesperson, and they are, as long as you think you are. But when you realize you are a business, you do what Adam said, which is, Mark, how can someone get out of that? Or what's some things that you need to do in order to understand that you are a business, to scale as a salesperson, how you can scale your business and be more than a 30 car a month guy?
Well, first, it starts with a decision. I mean, everybody has certain things that drive them in life. And sometimes we just have to get out of our own way. We have to make a decision on what we want, A. B, put some actionable steps in place. C, hold those steps accountable. D, get to work. So, I mean, it's easier said than done, but I think it's a decision that we make, and we have to get out of our own way. A lot of times we're in our own way, and the habits that we've created and our processes and our rituals and the things that we do don't merit those things that we want. So we have to change something, and we have to write it down, and we have to reach out to somebody like yourself or somebody that's doing the things that you want to do already, and have them hold you accountable. The key is to have somebody with their thumb on you. And here's the problem. Not everybody likes that. Not everybody's cool with having somebody hold them accountable. It's uncomfortable. But if you do those things, you can absolutely dominate, crush it, absolutely crush it.
So guys, I've been telling you for a long time, you can make some serious money in sales as a salesperson if you scale your business and see yourself as a business person. Smith, there you had the ABC that he laid out there, and you had to write it down. So make sure that we get that clip out there on all the different platforms, for that's some super information that I want people to understand. Now, you said a word early on that I believe in so strongly, and I want to hear what you meant by it. You said purpose. What is purpose? What is your purpose now? And how can someone use purpose to meet those goals that they have to write down?
So when you discover purpose is something that it took me a really long time to find it. And I had this feeling in my gut. Like I kind of knew. I did some work on myself. I actually went out to Sedona. I tell a story. I got lost in the desert to find myself in 2017. And I did some things, and I took some time to myself. But I realized, and it was sometime year 2017, maybe early 2018, I realized that my job is to influence people. I write this down every single day. I write this down on my journal. I've got a rise and grind planner that I use every single day. And I write these words out. I write down speak, inspire, change. Those are my words. I'm put on earth to speak as loud and to speak to as many people as possible. I'm put on earth to inspire those people just to do a little bit more. And together we will change the world. That's what I write down on a daily basis. I influence people. I motivate people. I move people. I make people feel their worth and understand that their better days are ahead of them. I'm here to help people move. And that's what I was put on earth to do. When I figured out my purpose, that was one of those things that I'm chasing that purpose off into the sunset now. Like literally and I don't even work anymore. I work, on the surface level, maybe like 18-hour days sometimes. I do 18-hour days. I do 16-hour days. There's a lot of 14-hour days. But it's not work to me because it's what I'm supposed to be doing. All of it.
Man, we need like schedule 10 shows, Smith, so we can get all this out there. Okay, so purpose. You said that that you were put on this earth to do this, and I don't know where spirituality fits in with you. You're welcome to tell me.
I'm a Christian man. I'm a Christian.
Okay. All right, so then
that.
Okay, I can speak this language. So here's my belief, my strong belief. I have been put on this earth to open the blinded eye, and it looks like you have that same purpose. I got chill bumps. I'm going to call it the spirit when you started talking right there. Now, I firmly believe that Adam didn't come up with this. Okay, I feel like you said you had a gut feeling. I think that God put that inside of you, Adam, and that you were born with this, and then through self realization and self-awareness and getting lost in the desert.
And self-destruction. There was some self-destruction in there too, my brother, too. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
no, it's good. That's very important, because I don't want to paint just this rosy picture, like, well, oh, it's rainbows and sunshine and it's all wonderful, because I had to fall and, I had to be crushed myself before I could find that purpose that I had. And then, without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. But I truly believe that God put that in you, Adam, and that's God coming to life through you. And that purpose is strong. And when you say things like we're going to change the planet, man, it gets me excited, because I know that there's people out there like you that are making a difference.
Yes.
So
Amen. Amen.
All right. So self-awareness. So many people, it seems like you became self-aware. I think one of the greatest gifts we can have is to be self-aware. So if you were out there in the desert, obviously there were some things that weren't right with Adam. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So what did that process look like? I woke up one day and I did not like who I was anymore. And I said, this isn't me. I've got to change this. And that's kind of how my story went. When did you wake up to the fact that, hey, I'm kind of on the wrong path here? This doesn't fit my purpose.
So I was spending time and doing life with those that weren't elevating me. And a lot of those people weren't interested in elevating themselves. My ex-wife and I, we were going through some severe marital issues, which we're friends today. We had a very civil divorce. Things are great. I always like to throw that out there. There's a lot of people, when I talk about that, like, some people, when they don't know, they want to apologize. No, it's all good. But my life was just, I wasn't happy. I just wasn't happy with my life. And I made the decision, I got to do something. And, I've always been spiritual. I like nature. Sedona's magical. I visited once before, and I kind of did some research, and we found some of the greatest spiritual healers out there. And I did a lot of meditating, and I did a lot of breath work. I just literally I humbled myself. And I decided to be very open-minded, and I knew that something had to change. And so when I got back, my life was different. Like, the way I would deal with things was different. I learned how to pause and take a deep breath before I overreact to a potential situation. So a lot of things changed when I went out there, that I put in everyday practice kind of when I got back from Sedona. So that was one of the, I guess, transformations of my life. And I talk about it a lot. I say I got lost in the desert to find myself, and I actually really did. I met some really incredible people out there that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, man. I'm not just, I feel like I'm being just a yes, man, yes, man, yes, man. I really am just thrilled by everything that I'm hearing. So I'm going to bring it out again. You said meditation, you said breath work, you said open-mindedness. Now, you also said you're a Christian, and sometimes that doesn't fit with what a lot of people think Christianity is, right? So I love hearing you talk about open-mindedness, meditation, and breath work. That breath work is just something that so many people don't even understand. So just tell me how this fits in. How are you open-minded? How are you curious? And how do you study things and practice things as meditation and breath work? How does that fit into what some people say is, maybe new age?
I wasn't doing it in my early 30s, so I'm fairly new to practicing meditation. And, the last 5 years I've done it, but really since 2017, I make it a habit. Being able to close your eyes and dismiss thought, it's a skill. It takes time to understand, to sit in stillness and to just stay silent. And as a thought comes, you dismiss that thought. And as you work on your breath work, you just get better and better at it. And you find yourself, it's a reset button. So when you do meditate, and I don't do it for 20 minutes a day. It would be a lie if I said it. There are days I do it for 7 minutes. There are days I do it for 12 minutes. Very rarely am I over 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. But I do know if I'm having some difficulty, or there's a decision that's big that I got to make, or there's a struggle that's in front of me, I know if I put on the right guided meditation and I dim the lights and I sit on my yoga mat and I just clear my mind, take some really big, deep breaths and let it go out, the decisions that we make are typically better suited for what we're trying to accomplish. If I were to, let's say, deal with something very difficult and just immediately react, which I would potentially overreact, that outcome is not really the best outcome a lot of the time. So that's why learning how to slow down and just really focus on your breath, it can change your day. It can change your life.
Yeah.
So, meditating is a lot of people too, I got friends and, they think it's weird. Some people think it's just weird. And, being open-minded, here's what I'll tell you that opened it up for me. This is the thing right here that I've always had ego. I've always had pride. I've been a fighter. I always wanted to win. I was, I just was I was one track mind for so long. And then we talked earlier, I turned 40 in September. These last 4 or 5 years, I realize I'm so small and insignificant. Like, I'm not insignificant to God, but I'm insignificant as far as the world's concerned. I'm a really tiny little thing. I'm this blink of an eye that's going to be gone here really, really soon. So when I say being open-minded, you got to be open-minded to things. What happens after death? We got to be open-minded to what does my life look like 10 years from now? And we just look at things a little bit differently, but understanding I'm not God. I'll never be God. I'm loved. I'm accepted. I'm enough. I am worthy, but I'm also insignificant to the world's standards. So when I realized that, I got to just humble myself, boom, 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 break myself down. After breaking myself down, I was much better at making transactions and doing deals and doing business, much better at it now. I'm just better. I'm better now. Today, I'm better than I've ever been. I mean, I'm a machine gun. I'm a machine when it comes to a boardroom closing. Like, that's what I do. I'm good at pitching. But I had to beat myself down and humble myself to get to that.
Yes. And man, said so much. I'm going to go back and watch this thing and come up with some questions when we do this the next time. So, I've experienced ego and been an MMA fighter and been all those things. And that can lead to making you a very cocky person, which is not suitable for massive success, by the way.
Yep.
So I took a terrible crash in 2007 and 8, back when and we'll talk about real estate as well. But I mean, my business got smashed and I had to start over completely. And I even had a lot of success in 2015 and then crashed back a little bit. In 2017 and 18, things just, catapulted for me, and I would have misused it. I would have been arrogant had I not already tasted defeat those other 2 times. So you better stay humble because things can change a lot. And being humble and open-minded and coming from a place of that when you are closing and making your pitch does make you more effective. And I'm going to make a prophecy over your life, Adam, and that is you're 40, you're just turned 40, man. Between 40 and 50, you're going to 100x so many things in your life, including your business, because, I didn't really start hitting what we call the big money until I was into my 40s, right? So you've learned, and now, so you're getting started. So you were started with the money in your 30s, right? But now your business and your scale and getting your message out there, and you're a man on purpose. So there's big things for you. And Smith, while he reacts to that, will you get some comments ready for us? I think we have some people that are wanting to talk to us.
Sure thing.
It looks like you have a couple of fans out there, Adam, that were wanting to talk to us. And I was like, look.
I think he's good. It looked like he was about to freeze for a second.
Yeah, we got it.
Go ahead and into the comments.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Robert Brooker says, good afternoon, Billy, Adam, and Smith, if you were there behind the scenes. Hi, Robert.
Good afternoon.
He's got a big one. That there is a process that is proven, that can be followed, that will provide results if followed consistently. There was a parallel present in the past, not financial, but to achieve a desired result. The process was in place. If it was followed religiously, the outcome was always predictable, and I did not enjoy that process and often felt like a zombie at the end of the day. But the outcome remained at the same level of a superior nature.
You can tell Robert's a man of deep thought. He brings a lot to the show with his comments. What else we got over there?
Michael Dean Offman says, looking good, brother.
What's up, brother?
We got 2 more from Robert. Taking that deep breath before reacting allows you to choose how to respond, and this is something that allows for a high level of gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah, that works in the car too. I'm going to tell you, that works in the car. When somebody cuts you off, take a deep breath real quick.
Yeah. Let me see what your thoughts are on this. So, I believe I'm a man of faith and believe in prayer. And, I feel like I've discovered true prayer and the power of true prayer, and it's through gratitude. So, Robert, thank you for bringing that up. There's a mantra that I use, and I feel like I know for a 100% anecdotally that it has changed my life. And that is, I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. And I'm so happy and grateful that I am happy and grateful. Those are self-fulfilling prophecies that when you get emotionally attached to them, I believe it 100% put you in communication with God.
I can agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. It's, and another thing too, and I talk about this sometimes when I'm doing some of my coaching. I believe the law of attraction is a real law. I believe it's fact. I believe that if you truly desire something and then you proclaim it, and you proclaim it boldly and consistently in your heart conditions in the right space, your mindset's right, the things come to you. They just do. I have found that to be so true over the last couple of years. I'll tell you. I mean, it's insane when you boldly proclaim something and shout it out into the universe, shout it out to the Lord in prayer. Those things get returned to you, and a lot of times those things are returned 10x, like you talked about earlier. I mean, they just do. It's really,
it's the laws of the universe that are undefined. I mean, there's some people out there trying to define them, and you're doing a great job of saying exactly how it works. It's the old reap what you sow type thing. But when you put it out there in faith and you're emotionally attached to it, it absolutely is a real seed that comes back and gives you fruit. And if you put bad stuff out there, you're going to get it. If you put good stuff out there, you're going to get it. I have to make a transition. I could talk about this all day, but I want to get out some more of these things, because Adam is a very smart person, and I want to get his expertise in several areas. I know you're a coach. Tell us who you coach and what are the things you do to help your clients. Who's your ideal coaching client?
So when we're talking about Ascent Dealer Services, which is my baby, that's my fourth child. I have three beautiful daughters, but my fourth child is Ascent Dealer Services. It's my baby. And what I do is I help car dealers build wealth in the most tax-friendly environment. So what I do is I make sure the dealer is attached to the right F&I products, that they're offering the right suite of products. But more importantly, a lot of the times is they're attached to the right profit participation program in the form of reinsurance, a dealer-owned warranty company, or retro insurance. So that's step one. I make sure the dealers have the right products, and then they're invested properly, whether we're offshore or we domicile a company here in the U.S. for them, right? Second thing is we put together processes. We have our blueprint with Ascent that we built, me and my partner have built, and we built it off a combination of his 25 years in retail and my 20. We've put together a blueprint that it works. And so there's the blueprint. We hold the blueprint accountable, and then we sprinkle the coaching on top of it. So, we have we help dealers move the needle in F&I. And this is what Paul, my partner, and I are so proud to say is we're just retail car guys that just so happen to offer insurance products to dealers. Our competition, and I don't knock them all because I love my competition. I praise my competition. Our competition, most of them are insurance agents in the automotive industry. It's a huge difference.
It's a huge.
We offer best in class. We got a handful of high level administrators. I'm connected to the inventor of the DOWC. We definitely are winning there, but it's the retail car experience is the reason I get calls. I mean, that's it. Dealers want to do business with me because of that, period.
Well, and it's because you're the best person to do business with. There's a lot of agencies out there that do something similar to what I do, and they copy me, and that makes me happy. That means I have a good process, a good product, and I help them, Adam, as crazy as that sounds. I help them.
Might as well.
You might as well. Yeah. But, it makes sense that car guys that are running events, that are running dealerships, that are doing advertising want to deal with a car guy. It doesn't make a lot of sense to deal with someone with a marketing degree that's never sold a car before. So I understand totally what you're saying. If if you're running a dealership, you have F&I, and you're looking for the best products, I would definitely talk to Adam. So Smith, make sure that we put the link to Ascent in the comments, and then we will also do a particular clip and put that out there on
Sweet.
we'll do that for you too. Yeah, man. So real estate, you do a lot of things. Tell me what's your experience with real estate and how did you get involved?
Well, real estate has saved my butt a few times. I started investing 24 years old, 25 years old. I just started, I bought my first house when I was 20. So then I upgraded. So I was 20, upgraded when I was 24. So I bought the second house. And as I kept upgrading, I never got rid of those houses. And so I would keep them as rentals. So I was kind of like an investor on rental without even really knowing what I was doing. And then I met a guy who I'm business partners with in one company, A2 Investments. His name's Ali Kitchell. Ali was my sales manager at my Nissan store. We're very close. Not as close now as we used to be. Had a little bit of a personal falling out, but we still do business together. We're cordial. But he mentored me in real estate. He told me, he's like, here, man, I'll show you right now how to retire on $500,000. You give me 500 grand, I'm going to show you how to pump some cash flow forever. So I was like, okay. So then we started buying rentals, and then I started flipping. So I own Marburger Investment Group. That's my company. That's a small company. Here, it's small today. I've got 12 units on that deal. 12 units, they're all rentals, and then I'm getting ready to start doing some more flipping on that. But A2 Investments, we have a pretty good portfolio. Ali and I own a lot of property. We do multifamily, which I've learned that the cash flow is really good on the multifamily. And I love real estate. I love taking the crappiest house on the street. I like gutting it. I like getting my crews in, getting it tight and right, getting it back on the market so a family can come rent it from me. So real estate is definitely the engine that's pulled my financial train. I would have not have been able to leave retail automotive in the capacity that I was able to if I didn't have it. I would have been, a lot of us are making that big money that comes and goes, even though I saved some. But the real estate is what allowed me to leverage some things.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm grateful for that. And I'm still passionate about real estate. I don't talk about it as much. I'm really passionate about it. I'm going to start. I'm going to go in acquisition mode later in the year. I have this feeling there's going to be some opportunity later this year.
Yeah,
I have this feeling. So
I think there's opportunity right now. I think, and for places like right here where I'm from, we're close to Florida. We have a pretty good climate. We're close to the beach. We're close to Jacksonville. We're close to Atlanta, and real estate is still very inexpensive. And with the migration coming out of the big cities, some of East Coast, West Coast, Northeast, and then a lot of them are going to Florida. But I see a lot of people from Florida that's like, man, it's getting too crowded. They're coming up to Georgia looking for farmland, looking for acreage and things like that. And I tell you what I love. I love hearing you talk about multifamily, single family, flipping, because so many people in real estate right now, they're multifamily, and they get so close-minded that they think that it's silly, or they talk bad about someone who wants to invest in one house. Well, look, man, I know a lot of people who got rich doing one house, one renter, and learning. You don't want to
start small. Why would you? Here, by the way, I love Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is the guy that pushed me 10 years ago. We were a client of Grant's a decade ago. Go big, go 10X, go big. I believe that. I think that we should 10X a lot of things. But I think if you're new to real estate investing, let's get some things straight here. There's a couple things you have to do. You got to get your money right. How are you going to pay for it? Figure that out. Do you have cash? If you don't have cash, what's your credit like? Get a banker. How much do you need down? Get a pre-approval. Get ready to go. Get an agent. Find an agent that knows the market. If you're going to flip it, understand what you could buy it for and what you could sell it for, so you know how much to put into the property, right? Get your crew in line. The most difficult thing that Ali and I deal with is good people, getting good people to work on these properties for us. Construction workers, they're fabulous, but I'll tell you, there's some inconsistency there. So getting those things right. And so those little 3 things that I would say for anybody wanting to invest, buy a single property. Let's get some experience. Buy one, flip one, use that cash. Then you buy the multifamily, because you got the cash to put down on the multifamily. And now what you've done is you've got a multifamily that's got a good loan to value, and now you're cash flowing. Because sometimes some of these fourplexes, 3 of them are all profit. So 3 doors are profit. One's paying the bills. So that's my idea. Let's start slow and small, buy one, flip one, understand your local market, take some cash, put it down on another property, and just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You got to learn first.
Yeah. I love it. I totally agree, man. I don't like closed-mindedness in hardly anything, much less, real estate, because there's so many ways that people can profit with real estate. And the small guy, I'm a small guy. I have single families, in real estate, not in the multifamily. Not that that's not wonderful, and there's a lot of money there, but it's just not, that's not where I want to be right now. And yet I'm making money with the real estate that I do have. So I like that. So I want to talk about something that's near and dear. It's not nearly as near as I would like it to be, but I have a shallow history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. Tell us how you found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and what does it mean to you today?
So Jiu-Jitsu, anybody that knows me knows that I'm ridiculously passionate about Jiu-Jitsu. It's a foundation that was poured in my life a long time ago that's allowed me to build a house on it, right? Mm-hmm. I started at a young age kickboxing in high school. I was a sophomore. So I kickboxed my sophomore year, my junior year, some of my senior year. I got away from kickboxing for a little bit. I took a couple years off. I was in an incident at a club in St. Louis where I was breaking up a fight. And I was an innocent, and I've told the story. I think this is the second time I'm telling the story. I told the story on a podcast 2 months ago. So a lot of people are reaching out, holy crap, I didn't know that. Here's what happened. So there's fight breaks out, and I look over my shoulder. This is a place I went to often. I respected the owners, and I knew everybody there for the most part. And so I just pulled this guy off of this guy. Well, next thing you know, some dude's got his rear naked choke locked in completely and drops me down a couple flights of steps. And I was hurt. I was able to walk, and I remember there was a cop there, and the cop was trying to kick me out and arrest me like I did something, like I was the one in the fight. So I remember leaving there just livid, like so upset. Well, the next week, this is what happened. So I'm leaving my dealership, and I'm driving down Broadway in Alton, and I look to the right, and it says Pro Gym Mixed Martial Arts, and it was just conveniently timing. So I just pulled in. It's like, let me check this place out. And so Mike Griffin was one of my first coaches, and we had a good crew in there. I went into my first training session, and at this time I'm 205, and I'm kind of a big, strong guy, but I wasn't like super. I was fit, but not crazy like athletic. And a 155-pound guy by the name of Todd Murphy, who's a friend of mine, we've trained for years now, beat the brakes off of me. And it's like we weren't even playing the same sport. I'm trying to grapple him, and I'm getting choked, and I'm getting triangled and armbarred and like ankle locked. And I left there going, oh my God, I am not tough. I am not tough at all. And I love this stuff. So that's where it started for me. And so I joined, and then I found a gym in St. Louis. I started doing some mixed martial arts. So I did some fights, loved it, trained all the way till I was 29, did MMA. And then I decided jiu-jitsu was my jam. And so I've been in sport Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a while now. I've been practicing the actual, with the gi on and everything. I didn't put the gi on until 2011. So I've got 9 years. I'm a brown belt under Kyle Watson. I'm just a black belt waiting. I'm trying to figure out how to become a black belt. And then it all starts over again because Jiu-Jitsu is impossible to master. You just don't master Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, there's one person I could think of as a very close to a master, and his breathing techniques inspired me to get into jiu-jitsu. And you probably know who I'm talking about if you watch the movie. Yeah, Rickson Gracie. That's how inspiring is that? When he came on the scene, a lot of people don't know UFC 1 with Royce Gracie, who actually won. He was chosen because he was the smallest, kind of the runt of the bunch to go represent the Gracie family. If Rickson had been there, it would kind of look like, well, this athlete's he's just another athlete. But they wanted to prove that it was the art of jiu-jitsu that actually was undefeated or impossible to beat. But man, Rickson, that guy he's very close to a master. I mean,
he's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioners to ever walk the earth. He's got a lot of MMA experience, and his jiu-jitsu is just disgustingly amazing. It's crazy.
He's one of my heroes. You can't tell it today, but I got to get back in the gym and get back on the mats for sure.
Here, I'll tell you right now, Billy, jiu-jitsu, I I will tell you in automotive, and I do a lot of like my Ascent Dealer Services Academy. Well, I'm using my jujitsu and my automotive together. I blend the two. I share with people all the time. Like I'll talk to my finance people. I'm like, you can't expect as a finance person, if you don't meet the customer early, develop a little bit of rapport, find out what they're trying to accomplish, find out what their personality type is, and you don't get that stuff done, and then you try to sell them stuff. You know, I mean, it's kind of like getting into an MMA fight. I'm not using my jab, and I'm going in for a blast double that's telegraphed, right? There's these little things that you have to do to set up your big shots, right? So in a lot of times, you know, F&I managers, I'll tell you, they kind of it's intriguing to them. They like it. And so I use my martial arts background and career in parallel with my automotive career. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff we call our stuff the black belt road to sale. How do you get to be a black belt in F&I? And so we've got all the different rankings, and it's pretty cool.
I love that. And there's going to be a lot of people watching this that appeals to, that's going to jump in there and follow suit, and they can get jacked up, just like me, get jacked up about that. Then there's also people out there who may be 100 pounds overweight, who may be eating unhealthy, and they're just not going to jump into jiu-jitsu for a ton of reasons, right? But still, it's important that that guy, if there's any way possible that they can find some type of healthy replacement or healthy breathing, meditation, something. Do you coach anybody who is the non-athlete, not interested in MMA whatsoever? And wow. How can we help that person, Adam?
Yeah, well, so at my academy, I own a martial arts academy here in Alton. And I will tell you that less than 10% of our students compete. Not everybody gets in the cage. Not everybody gets in the ring. You don't have to be a fighter to train like a fighter. My martial arts academy is a family-friendly atmosphere. I grew up in fight clubs. I went into dark gyms where you suited up and you got in those rings and you fought. And you would leave banged up. You would leave sometimes questioning your life, like, my God, what am I doing? Our gym, Court and I, we decided a completely different approach. We're Alton family martial arts and fitness. So I don't care who you are. You're a mom, great. If you're overweight, great. If you're insecure, great. If you're getting bullied at school, we will fix that, and relatively quickly. We've got stories of transformation that have changed my life, hearing them and seeing them firsthand. That, you know, it's like, you know, I've had, I don't know how many students that I've trained and coached over the last 10 years that have come from broken homes, abusive homes. Parents are drug addicts. These kids have acne and they're overweight. And so now they're getting beat on at home and they're getting picked on at school. So they've got nowhere. And then they find our academy and we mentor them and love them and we change them and they lose weight. The acne clears up. They can speak to people because they have confidence. Now there's one gentleman that I'm thinking of as I'm speaking here that now has a girlfriend, right? Now their life's good. Said 18 years old, see you parents, peace, right? Because now that person's a great contributor to the community and society as a whole and can go out and do something. So without question, unequivocally, martial arts will not just change your life, but it will potentially save your life. So I believe it to my core to be true. And that's why I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, I can tell for sure. Now, have you done, or do you have any virtual training available, or are you in person only?
So we were doing some virtual training when the state of Illinois required us to shut down during the pandemic. So there were a couple of months. We don't do a whole lot of the virtual for the gym. We are in person. Here's one thing. Here's a fact for you too. We had one student test positive for COVID over the entire, whenever COVID started. I remember being at NADA yesterday. And then, like, I don't know if you recall, you know, we leave NADA and we come home and the world changes. Like, it was the last real big trip, right?
Yes.
But, you know, even when we opened back up, you know, we've been healthy. And I'm not saying that you can't get COVID and you can't go give it to somebody else, but if you're healthy and you're in shape, it doesn't affect you. We had one student that doesn't affect you as bad. I don't want to say doesn't affect you. I don't mean to say it that. But we had one student that came back positive. I immediately shut the gym down. Immediately, I did what we needed to do. That person had no symptoms, was healthy. That person quarantined, everybody else, and we got back, and not a single person's been unhealthy. Not a single one. It's a great thing to see too.
Yeah, man. And being healthy has to contribute to that. And I just wish there was more talk about, you know, the things that you can do to be healthier. You know, eating good, exercising, jujitsu, or whatever it is that's going to help you increase your heart rate, make your cardiovascular stronger, make you more physically fit, man. That's some things we need to be focusing on, not shutting things down and just
That's an area, Billy, that's an area where I see elite, I don't want to say elite, but professionals. We fail looking at our health. We really do. We fail. I mean, we just do. I mean, we're not eating the right stuff. We're not getting enough sleep. We're just not doing it. And so it's when I see somebody that's wanting something, and I've got family members that are, I got a family member who's sick all the time. This person smokes. I don't think this person's broke a sweat in 10 years. So when this person gets sick, they're sick for a while. I've got friends like that too. They're sick all the time, but they're so unhealthy. So in the event that you get a cold or you get the flu or something happens to you, if you're super ridiculously overweight and you're unhealthy, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be sicker. You're going to be longer. It's just fact. The blueprint's there. I mean, you put good food in. You are what you eat, period. Period.
So what type of, I hate to use the word diet, but what type of nutrition do you, what's your model of eating?
I'll just tell you this week, I love to eat a crock pot on Sunday. And so I put my chicken breast in the crock pot. I make this nice little shredded chicken. It'll last me through Wednesday. I've got some brown rice pasta, and then I've got brown rice. I do a lot of broccoli. I do 2 power smoothies every single day. Then I'm going to tell you, I posted the recipe on it yesterday, but it's just a little almond milk, a little Greek yogurt, a scoop of peanut butter, chia seeds, flax seeds, a whole banana, scoop of protein powder, and then I got frozen spinach, which is awesome, frozen blueberry, frozen strawberry, not a ton of strawberries. That bad boy right there, get out of here. I drink 2 of those every day. It gives me great energy. I feel good. I'm getting my protein in me.
And you're not getting any added sugar there. So, sugars, you're not getting any simple carbohydrates, it seems like. So, it seems like whole foods, fruits, vegetables, protein, lean proteins, things like that.
Okay, so I drink wine though. Here, let me be brutally honest.
Okay.
I don't drink I don't even drink to get drunk. I like a nice glass of wine. And so my nutritionist, who's one of my best friends, Katie Shear, Dr. Katie, who's thebomb.com, she's on me. She makes sure I'm doing the right stuff. And she's always telling me, Adam, they say you can drink a glass of red wine a day. She says, I call BS on that. Don't do that every day. So, but a couple days a week, I'll have a few glasses of wine. I love red wine, and I especially love it with a steak. I love, yeah.
Hey, we got to get you down here to Georgia, man. See, I have a farm. We're talking about real estate earlier, and my real estate portfolio is the office building that I'm in. Big paved parking lot. We just did a renovation. There's 3,000 square foot. We have all this, we invested back into the business, all this equipment and things. I have 36 workstations out here, like a call center. It's actually a text and internet department with some really cool offices, executive offices. I have a home a new construction that we live in that we just built. We have a rental property that's in town, and then we have a 60-acre farm. On the farm, we have horses, we have cows, fences, ponds, fish. So we could, in the worst case scenario, we have a plan B, right? So the cows, I got to get you down here and let you taste some homegrown Black Angus Georgia beef.
Hey, you ain't gonna threaten me with a good time. I'm not afraid to travel, dude. I'll come down there this afternoon. I'll go jump on a plane. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Or you come get me. Maybe you come pick me up.
Soon as the weather gets better, I'll definitely do that. We can go to St. Louis. It will not. And I'm actually, I have 3 pilots that are kind of on standby. Between one of them, I always have and one, if 2 of them are certified flight instructors. So I'm talking about that 5, 6, 7,000 hours, and they're training me. I can fly, but I still pay the pilot because until I'm like a master, or at least until I'm a purple belt at pilot, I'm not going to be, in charge of.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But anyway, do we have any new comments from someone who hasn't commented yet, Smith, or is it the same people?
I believe it is the same people so far. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, pick us out one, and we'll kind of We got to wrap this thing up. I know Adam has some dealers he has to talk to, and I got some dealers waiting to talk to me. So let's talk about that real quick, Adam, while he's finding some good comment. Tell us what it's like calling on dealers, because being a car dealer, we know that general managers and dealer principals, they can be very difficult. So I have people who have products and they call on dealers. How can we help them be more confident? Because I absolutely love talking to dealers, and I'm a pretty good closer when talking to a dealer. What works for you? And why are you better at it than most people?
So I'm a really crappy example I show your agent to do what I do. It's going to come with a premium. My model's different. My leads come to me. So I don't knock doors. I don't cold call. I didn't even really cold call from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I created some things online. My leads come to me on Facebook. That's where my leads come. LinkedIn and Facebook. I built my company on that. But I've been in the field. My partner, Steve, and I, before he was the original, my original guy at Ascent Dealer Services, he passed away. But before he passed away, him and I, we'd go out to Colorado. We'd be all in Kansas City. We'd be in St. Louis, and we'd go knock doors. And knocking doors, when you do not have an appointment, getting to a dealer principal is not easy. Getting the general manager's time is not easy. But if you know somebody within that dealership that can set the table for you. So what I would always do, we would always find out who's in the store. Do I know somebody, even if it's a salesperson, a finance person, kind of go through that way and then get to the dealer. The key is, for what works for me though, what worked for me back then was never there to sell anything. You're there to set an appointment. Period. Amen. You're there to set an appointment for what I do, and the insurance products. You've got nothing to pitch and sell. Meeting number one. Meeting number one is to get on their calendar over the next few weeks to show them a big idea. And that big idea could be whatever it is that's big at the time. Like right now, I have a program for used car dealers that's insane. I put a post out the other day, and I've had 4 dealers reach out to me, and that's kind of, it works. But it can be very hard on your ego knocking doors, getting to dealers, because you know how hard it is to get to a dealer. It's just really, really hard. And then you got a couple of 30 seconds to share something with them, and maybe you're going to make a good impression. Maybe you'll get on their calendar. So I think using social media, and I'm not going to share too much of this right now, but I do a lot of coaching in other areas, and I'm going to put together a program to show other agents how to use social media. And I don't mind this. I'll help my competition. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because I believe when a dealer decides to leave you, it's your fault. It's not the other agent's fault. Like, I don't get upset at another agent if they come take my business, because that's my fault. I should have done whatever it took to keep that account.
Yeah.
But with that being said, social media is a brilliant tool, and you've got to share relevant content. You got to show your authentic self. You got to show them some of your skill set. And then you've got to be willing to send a message on Facebook dealer. And you don't friend a dealer up and send a message trying to sell them something. That is the absolute worst thing you could do. I used to do it. It didn't work. So, but you can use social media. You can dominate with it. You can dominate. You can absolutely win using social media. But there's people that are afraid to use it. They're just so scared to go on camera. They're so scared to go live. They're just some people are insecure, and they're afraid to use it. But those that are using it, Dean here from Arizona, he commented earlier. He's an agent like myself, and he does a great job. I'm a fan of his. And he popped on and said he puts himself out there. And he's successful because he puts himself out there. I'm sure he creates leads using this tool on Facebook. So anyway, that's a long rant, but I've got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to getting to a dealer.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a huge fan, especially after this conversation that we've had, this 1 hour conversation, because I've been telling people for a long time that as salespeople, and especially agents, coaches, I'm a service guy. I provide a service for a dealer. Basically, that's the only product I have is my call center. And we use Facebook to reach the customers. And for those dealers, we've spent $7 million on Facebook ads. So, we've got a pretty good bit of experience. There's people who've spent way more. I mean, that's just letting you know where we're at there. But I've been telling people we've been focused on the wrong thing, and we've had such bad ideas for so long. We talk badly about order takers when we're talking to salespeople. When I say we, I'm talking about we car guys who've been in management and running dealerships. But man, order taking is the best thing there is. So we've shifted our business model to marketing and advertising. That's what we focus on the most, getting the best messages out there with the best offers to get that attention. And then when you get those inbound calls and those inbound texts, and the other day we checked my email right after the show, we had 3 orders. Hey, Billy, I want to do an event. Call me, right? That's so much better than knocking on the door. It
takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to knock on those doors. And you know what? I've got a team now. I got a handful of agents that are in the field. I got a guy up in Wisconsin that is a cold calling machine. He keeps me so busy. It's absolutely insane. He's got a gift. And I will say this too, because I know we're running out of time here, but I'll say when it comes to, I think cold calling is a gift. I've got a book right now that I'm reading on prospecting, and there's a science behind it. You got to fill. We talk about filling the pipeline for a reason. It's a continuous effort. You got to fill. And knocking doors, it's rejection. But sometimes it doesn't phase you. It phases a lot of people. It used to phase me. I'd be a liar if I didn't say that it didn't phase me. It did. I'm not the best cold caller. I'm the best closer. I am a guy, you get me in front of the dealer, I'm good at putting deals together. I'm a horrible cold caller. I use social media for that. I would be horrible knocking doors. So
that's cool, man. I love the honesty, the transparency there, because so many guys, again, it's all about you got to make 100 calls. You got to make 100 calls. I don't make 100 calls, Adam. I don't make any calls anymore. I mean, I answer my phone. If you call me, I'm going to answer my phone, but I don't prospect with a telephone. I like you. I'm going to put my story out there. If I have if my story has a great enough message, then people will call me. Smith, is there anything you want to end on? Anything we left off? Smith's doing a great job behind the scenes over here. Adam, he's going to chop this thing up. He will send you some clips that if you want to use in the future for your stuff as well. We have an amazing studio here, the best cameras, the best microphones. When you come to Georgia, man, I just kind of had a thought there when you were saying, traveling. Boy, I sure would like to get. You were talking about helping your competition even. I would love to get your information on how whatever's running in your head right now, what you're wanting to put out there. If I could help in any way with equipment or studio or anything like that.
Absolutely. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. And I do want to get down here. I'm a fan of yours, Billy. I've been following you. You crush it. Your message is consistent. You've got gratitude. You're humble, and you're a rock star. So I absolutely want to get down south. I'm not like I said, I'm not afraid to travel, and I'm not afraid of a good time. So,
Smith, did we hit every topic?
I was going to say, speaking of social media, we do have a couple more, but
okay.
Speaking of social media, Robert Brooker said, there is much gratitude for social media in general. It has been a pathway to experiencing considerable joy, and being able to engage here is a strong source of gratitude. And part of the financial education via YouTube is being delivered by George Gammon, and a few other friends also met through this.
Yeah, George Gammon's a super smart guy, man. Such a great guy. But Robert Brooker's actually in Canada. We've done business in 48 states plus Canada so far in the last. Yeah, and I want to get to Alaska, and I think, what is it, Maine? Maybe it's 47 states. Alaska, Maine. Maybe it's 48. No, we've done Alaska, so it's Maine and Hawaii. Maine and Hawaii. That's 2. So if you know any dealers in Maine or Hawaii that need to do an event,
I'd love. Maui's my favorite island on the planet. I would love to get some business. And I was told that over there on those islands, they don't do business with vendors unless they live on the islands. I haven't investigated. I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it, but that's kind of what I was told. I love Hawaii. It's my jam for sure.
I was told the same thing, and it may be true. I did get a phone call, an inbound phone call from a guy in Hawaii who had a used car lot in I forget which island he was on, but he had to talk to his wife. That was the objection I got. But he never got back with me, so I was going to do it. I was going to do it for free. Shout out to Art Todd. Thank you for watching. I don't know if Art's in Texas this week or back in Georgia, but he's always traveling, just like we are, Adam. And I know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Oh, you got a new one. Smith, I think this is one of Adam's fans right here.
Yeah, Mike Zura.
Sir, Adam is a business leader that transcends industries. As a video producer who has worked plenty with him, I must say his work ethic, willingness to put himself out there and try new things while consistently attacking his long-term goals has impacted the success I've had in my business as well. The knowledge he shares is invaluable, and the life experience it comes from is inspiring and motivating. Thanks, Adam, and great chat to listen to.
Thank you, Mike.
You're awesome, brother. I love you, brother. We actually need to jump on a call. I actually need to talk to him. So yeah, I'll tell you right now, the best video team I've ever seen, Whole Street Productions. I'll give them a little plug. They're incredible.
There you go. All right, Adam. Again, thanks for coming on, man. Thank you for all the great information.
Absolutely.
I'll see you soon. I'll be calling, brother.
Great. This was fun. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. See you next time.